Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kortiwada. In this video, we will learn about how to test our ngOnChanges whenever there is a parent to child communication. So I have created ngOnChanges tutorial in Angular where parent-child communication will happen with a small demo application. So here I'll demo it before going to the unit testing of our ngOnChanges. Let me quickly jump into Visual Studio Code. Here we have created two components. One is default component like app component and one is child component. This child component has been embedded in my app component with two properties, that is title and meters value. Whenever there is a meters value change which is happening in my input field, then that meters value should be passed to your child component, and inside the child component there should be some calculation inside your ngOnChanges, and once this ngOnChanges triggers, then the meters value is converted into centimeters and that is shown on your UI of child component.html. So now let me go to browser and show the demo. Let me reload this, and by default the value of this meters input field is 0, and let me pass 10, and whenever I pass 10, then there is a change happen to my child component. This meters into centimeters is a label which we are getting from the child component. And one more approach is when I click on the change title, then sample update parent is passed to my child component. So here the sample update parent is not bothered on ngOnChanges, so I'll not focus on this test case. We are focusing only on the test case whenever there is an update happening on your input field, then that calculation that is multiplied with 100 is happening in my child ngOnChanges. So now I'll target only for that. So let me reload and pass here 10. So you will be getting 10 into 100 is equal to 1000. So this is the case which we are testing in this particular video. So let me go to app.component.spec.ts and let me introduce a module that is nothing but a forms module which we are using for our two-way data binding. Forms module, and let me create two variables const. The first variable is fixture, and this fixture is of type app component, or fixture, that is a component fixture of type app component. And now let me create one more variable that is nothing but a const component instance that is of type app component, and let me create these variables as let. And now after compilation is done, let me assign these values. Fixture is equal to test bed dot create component of app component. I am trying to create an app component, and let me get the instance from this fixture. Fixture dot component instance is the instance which is given from this fixture. And now inside the declaration, let me pass one component that is nothing but a child component, because we are using the child component in our app component. And now let me go to the first use case, that is it, where we need to check the meters value. So meters value passed from two-way binding to on changes. So we are passing this value to the on changes, and let me have a callback function. Inside this callback function, let me detect the changes first. So fixture dot detect changes, and let me change the spelling here, meters. And once the detection is done, that means fixture dot when stable, whenever it is stable, then we'll be returning a promise. And inside this promise, now what we'll do is we'll try to get the ngModel value. That means go to your app.component.html. So inside this HTML we have an input field. Let me use this input field. ID is equal to, let me use some ID like model value, and this model value we can change it. Let me copy this, and then let me update that model value. So how you can do that? Const element which is of type HTML input element, and this input element can get a element by using fixture dot debug element dot native element dot query selector of an ID. So hash and pass the ID. Now you will be getting an element which is HTML input element. On this element, let me dispatch an event like new event of an input value, and this is of type number. So let me pass that number here. So go here and pass that element dot value is equal to some number. So let me give 10, and the value will be accepting like a string. So let me pass the string to it. And now let me save this and save this. So HTML has been saved, and now once the dispatch happened, then our HTML input elements will be updated. So whenever there is an update happen to our input element, then this should be passed to your meters value, and whenever it is passed to your meters value, then it has to go to your child component.html, and it should have the value here. Let me give id is equal to resultant or result. Let me save this and copy this id, go to your spec file, get that id, const element or result element, which is of type html paragraph element, and you can get it from fixture.debug element dot native element dot query selector of what is the id here. The id is result. So result id, and once there is an update happen to your event, expected value, that is expect result element dot inner html dot to equal of, that will be equal to my value, that is equivalent to this whole meters centimeters along with the space. Copy this and pass here, and I'm passing 10. 10 into 100 will be 1000, so that will be 1000. Let me save this and see here what's happening. Here we are getting a problem because meters into centimeters 0 to equal of meters into centimeters of 1000. That means the meters has not been updated. Why it has not been updated? Let me detect these changes again. Fixture dot detect the changes. Why? Because we are changing the value which is on the input field. So let me use fixture dot when stable again, then get that value in the response of that promise, and then you check this value. So cut this and paste inside this. Let me save this, go here, and 2 successfully passed. That means we are sending a value of 10 to my child component, and the child component is getting updated with a value. That means the logic whatever we wrote inside ngOnChanges is triggered. If you go to the child component.ts, if it reaches this meters value, then only you can multiply that value by 100. Otherwise you cannot multiply. If it is not multiplied, then the value will be only 10. So here in this case we are receiving 1000. That means the 10 value is multiplied with your 100, which is inside your ngOnChanges. So this indicates, or this test case indicates us that the value whatever we are passing inside this meters value is getting called in our ngOnChanges, and this ngOnChanges is getting invoked. Whenever this ngOnChanges invokes, my meters value has been updated by multiplying with 100, and it is rendered in your HTML. That's it. You can prove that ngOnChanges is triggered and your values are getting updated in your child component. And this is how we can pass the data from your parent to child. And also, I want to let you know about TechZet. TechZet is a platform on Medium where you can learn all the backend stuff. Mainly, it is focused on the Adobe Experience Management, Magento, as well as OSGI, along with the basics of Java. And you can see this link framework completely. So just have a click on the link below in the description and have a look on this Medium blog. If you like, please like, share, follow Medium blog. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.